You are live. I don't know what's going on with my collar right here, but it's just doing extra stuff. But yeah, so I'm gonna check. As I always do, I'm going to um check my check the platform, which for me is the easiest one to get to is Facebook, but I guess I need to get all the way out and go into my groups and something else is live today that and it's not showing it, so I guess Facebook is having some issues. um Let me try it again. There we go. Yep, all the way out. Something else is live today. Hey Kimmy, thanks for watching live, and I know that you guys can hear me now because I just double checked. My name is Bess Parks, and I am the founder of the Single Moms Club. And what I like to say, hashtag Single Moms Level Up. So I'm also the founder of Single Moms Level Up. And we are in a 5-day challenge, y'all. This is day 4. And this is day 4 of the 5-day Single Moms Challenge, which is called, this is slow to roll, Loving Yourself Courageously. It's a 5-day Single Moms Challenge that we've been doing for the past now 4 days. This is day 4. And if you missed anything, you can always go and watch the replays. The sessions are only 30 minutes or so, but around 30 minutes. And so it's really easy to watch. I do give you guys a challenge every day. And it's it's stuff you can do. It's not anything deep. It's nothing like high school homework or whatever. This is so that we as single moms can be better for ourselves, so that we can be better for our children, so that we can be better in the relationships with the people that are in our lives and in our world on a daily basis. So that could mean, your coworkers, it could mean your family, it could mean your friends, it could mean your significant other, it could be, your boyfriend, whatever. It could be all that, and your kids. It could be your kids as well. So when we love ourselves courageously, we are able to be all of us, to bring all of us to and be present when somebody is with us and in our presence, and to enjoy that time. Because a lot of times, if we're not fully ourselves, say we haven't been loving ourselves, we haven't been getting enough sleep, we're not eating right, we're not doing any type of movement, walking, exercising, aerobics, whatever you do. And I'm going to tell you, I know some of you might be like, I don't like exercising. I have been one of those people, still kind of sort of one of those people. I don't like it, but I do it because I like the feeling that I get after I do it. I like the feeling of my body being able to move and be more fluid, flexible, I should say, not fluid, but more flexible. I like the extra energy that I get. What I'm having to address with that is my metabolism goes up. And I mentioned this once before, and I never said why I mentioned it, but I've always had a high metabolism. My whole the majority of my life, I had a high metabolism all the way up until I turned 31. And then after that, my metabolism changed. And I tell you, I went to the doctor, and because I kept telling my mom something's going on with my body, but I don't know what it is. Something doesn't feel right. It feels a little off. And my mom said, just go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor and said, nothing's wrong with you. You still just have allergies. You still have, asthma, but doesn't seem to be bothering you at the moment. I can give you some, some refills on whatever you need for those issues. But other than that, there's nothing going on with you. You're healthy. So at one point, most of my life, I had about maybe 3% fat, and that was just my body makeup. And then I turned 31 and my metabolism changed. I didn't know what was going on. It was extremely hard for me to start exercising because I had not exercised the majority of my life because of my asthma and allergies. I wasn't allowed to exert myself that much because it would trigger my allergies and my asthma because of everything that I was allergic to that was around me, which was indoor and outdoor allergies. I couldn't do a lot of exercising and stuff. So I never liked it because that was not something I did. I always, sat down in PE. I was not allowed and had a note from doctors and stuff saying she can't be out there in the grass exercising or whatever. If there's fresh cut grass, she cannot be outside, period. So I had to stay inside by myself doing word searches and whatever else with whatever teacher. Actually, one of my favorite teachers, Mrs. Lofstead. And I liked her because she had a very nice, calming voice. She smelled like certs. I didn't. She smelled like certs when she talked, which reminded me of my mom. And it's just just those things. But I'm saying all of this because my metabolism changed and I wasn't taking care of myself physically. So we talked about that yesterday, about physically taking care of ourselves, what we're putting into our mouths so that we can love better, what we're doing for our body on the outside so that we can love ourselves and love others better. And then today we're talking about boundaries. So we're talking about boundaries for ourselves and boundaries for the people that are around us that are not on the same that are not allowing us to be who we are, to just to be, just to be ourselves. And it may not be the selves that they're used to. It may be somebody that we're changing into because our new way of now learning to love ourselves. Some people don't take change very well. A lot of people, most people don't take change very well, and that includes change in relationships. So my kids, I made I made it to where we did a lot of change, and things that we would change some routines. We would change some of the things that we ate. We would change our rooms around, like totally change and redesign the rooms, reorganize the rooms, not design it, but reorganize the rooms and put the bed over here. No, the bed's over here. Now it's over here. It's over there. We would do that. We would change some of the food that we eat. That was something that I did as a mom. I would introduce new foods to my kids. This glare on my glasses tonight is a little much. Maybe I need to sit back. No, but then you can't see me. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to get over it. But the glare on my glasses seems to be a lot tonight, but I don't know why. But anyway, that was a total squirrel moment. I apologize. But anyway, so the relationships and our boundaries that we have to do. We need to start with boundaries for ourselves. So for me, one of my boundaries, especially like with eating, is to not overeat certain things and like keep eating something over. I try to change it up, and the reason why I do that is for my body, because I do have a lot of food allergies. I have environment allergies and stuff, but I have a lot of food allergies. I have come to realize in looking over my life that when I was at the best, the way that I felt in my life was for me when I stopped eating beef. Beef apparently for my body is not a good thing, was not a good thing. Mind you, I love me a good In-N-Out burger in California. I don't know about out here in Texas. I'm hearing that it ain't right. But in California, I love me an In-N-Out burger. I love porterhouse steaks at Black Angus. I like steaks at Black Angus. Um, I liked all of that. I was a beef person, carnitas, all of that. But I would get sick afterwards, and I would have bubble gut, and I would have gas, and back, bathroom issues and all of that. But that's a boundary that I had to create for myself, because they came out with some studies saying that certain blood types can't process certain foods. Um, Meats in particular, is that they said a lot of it was coming on meats. So what I did was I backed off from beef to see what would happen, and they said back off from beef for a couple of weeks and see how you feel. And so I did that. And oh my gosh, I felt like a brand new person. I was like, oh snap, I can't eat beef. Now it took me a little while, but I backed up off of that because I started seeing and paying attention to it and seeing that it wasn't good for me. Now it's to a point now, if I eat some beef, it ain't pretty. It is not pretty. And sometimes I'm just hungry and I'll grab something and don't think about what it was. And I didn't cook it, somebody else did. I was like, man, that was good. And I was like, crap, I think that was beef. Um, and I go through the same thing. I get bubble gut. Sometimes it might take a day or two for me to recover from that. But when I was weaning myself off of it, but I was still eating it at the same time, I noticed how uncomfortable I was, how it took my body 2, 3 days to recover from eating beef. And it was just too much for me, for my body. I had to create that boundary. So that boundary was something I had to create. So that's a boundary with food, a boundary with people. Um, I had to create boundary with people that did things that I realized I wasn't comfortable with doing. So even though, even though I'm so telling on myself, but even though most of my 20s, I was up in the club, and I was always the one that had a drink in my hand. But I came to find out that the reason why I was drinking so much was because I was so uncomfortable being in a club and around a bunch of people that I would drink so that I wouldn't pay attention to it. Why? This is not what I thought I was gonna say tonight about boundaries. But let me just go ahead and go with it. So thank you, Heather, for watching live. So this is another boundary that I had to do with, and this is in regards to things I'm putting in my mouth and in my body. Was that when I was younger, I used to go to the club. I would get 2 shots of Cuervo Gold tequila, and then I would have 2 to 3 strawberry margaritas with Myers rum in it. And that would be me for the night. Yes, I was a little twisted. But I wasn't like falling over drunk, but I was definitely in the good buzz area. But I was doing that, and what I realized was I was doing that in order to be comfortable around in a space that I wasn't comfortable in. Um, and I still might have a drink every now and then, but now I just don't drink like that anymore. It kind of sort of burns my stomach now, and I think it's because I did too much in my 20s. I drank a lot. It was basically Wednesday through Saturday night. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I was drinking and going out and dancing and everything. So that's a boundary that I have for myself. I've got a limit, of what I do. I might do two drinks, but that's maybe once or twice a year now instead of, what I used to do. So that's a boundary. So another boundary of mine is is people that don't allow me to be myself. And if they can't be around me as I am myself, then I guess we just can't hang out. And sometimes that is people that you may have known for a long time in your life. Doesn't mean that you're no longer friends or that you no longer have love for this person, but it's just you guys have gone different routes. So that's a boundary that's out there. But the boundary was put in place because they saw a change take place in me, where I was starting to love myself. I wasn't drinking a lot like how they were, and they're still drinking, and they're still doing all this and doing that and doing this and doing that. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to do all that. Um, I prefer to do these other things, and they're not interested. So that's a boundary, a boundary that's between both of us. Then there's boundaries of people that wanted in my life that wanted to control what I was doing and how I was doing and when I did it, and wanted me to say and be what they wanted me to be. And I just can't be that way, anymore. I can't be that way anymore. I used to be that way when I was a little kid. I was a people pleaser, but I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. I gotta be me and have that boundary. And so I've given a couple people in my life boundaries, and they hate it. One of them has just stopped and just given up. The other one is having a difficult time with the boundary that I put in place, to the point that they're almost throwing tantrums and things of that sort. And this happens to be a family member, and I still love them, for who they are and where they are in their lives. But I can't give them free access to me when they don't allow me to be me. And don't accept that, hey, just because I'm not doing things how you want me to do them doesn't make them wrong. It's something different, and I've been fighting with this because it's somebody really close to me. And I just realized I gotta push them further out of my circle, not completely out, but because I still love them, but I need to push them further out so that I can do what God has called me to do, which is to be here with you guys, single moms, level up, and do what He asked me to do, which is to create a community of single moms, someplace we can go where we can challenge ourselves to level up our thinking and to progress and to keep moving forward in a way that is loving ourselves courageously, so we can love other people, so we can go from just surviving to being CEOs in every area of our lives, through self-care, self-love, and supporting one another. This is what I'm called to do. And if somebody can't understand that and can't just back off and just, pray about it, pray about it. If you don't understand it, pray about it. You know what I'm saying? But boundaries are really important, and boundaries even with our children need to happen. And we need to teach them when they're young that we need to have our space, our time, as well as being with them, that we're not only their moms. We are sisters, we are friends, we are girlfriends, we're a whole lot of things besides just being their mom. And we have to give space to that. So we need to give space to our friends as well, to be who and where they need to be for whatever it is that is fulfilling in their lives, that is positive and enlightening and good for them, especially when they're loving themselves. So we need to encourage our friends to do things outside of just being with us. They can have other friends that they hang out with, to hang out with family members and things of that sort. And then when there's those people that just have all the controlling personalities, or don't allow them to be themselves, and you see them change, It's hard to say these things and have these hard conversations, but it needs to happen. I've had to do this with one of my kids. Um, this person. It seemed like every time she was with this person, that she would just change. She would change and be so disrespectful, dishonest, and all these things would come out that were just so off the wall, and not her. And so I had to voice that, with her. And so we need to make sure that we're loving ourselves courageously by creating these boundaries for ourselves and for other people that are trying to infiltrate or come into our space and take over and tell you how to do it, when to do it, and all this stuff, trying to direct everything you do, and be the captain and control person that's telling you go here, there, do this, do that, and do everything the way that they want you to do, when you have your own way of doing things. You're your own person, and they need to give you space to do that. So I started dating this guy that I dated back when I was 18. Man, I wasn't going to say this either. I don't know where this is coming from. But I was started dating this guy that I dated back when I was 18 years old. The funny thing is that when we were dating when we were 18, I enjoyed spending time with him. But when I wasn't with him, it's like, okay, he's doing him, I'm doing me, and it's all good. We never had really that jealousy thing. I did start having it a little bit, and it bothered me that I was starting to get that way with him. But I was also finding that he wasn't doing anything for me to be jealous, because I did that little stalker thing where I kind of watched him from down the street. But the funny thing was, and he's told me this recently, is that people would tell him when I was on the block. They knew my car. So they would tell him when I was on the block, but he didn't change. He just kept being him. And I still see that in him today, and he sees it in me. And the funny thing is that I've just gotten back to being myself after quite a few years where I got lost in a relationship, with my kid's dad. It was just very toxic for both of us, and both of our and we both contributed to that toxicity. um and then after that, my mom and my sister passed away within a 2-year period, and that sent me into what I'm now seeing was probably a deep depression. That, thank God, I got out of that. But it was a deep depression for a long period of time. But it needed to be done because I went and met myself in different stages of my life, and got into a lot of self-help books, and reading and listening to things that were got me thinking about things. I did a whole lot of journaling. I did a whole lot of praying. I did a whole lot of reading the Bible, and now I understand the Bible because I read it in a different way that I've never read that before. The King James version was very confusing to me. It was confusing to a lot of people, but I found the New Living Translation, and then I found the Amplified Translation, and so now I read it in several different translations. Um, but I found those things in journaling, and then I went back to a way of journaling that I got introduced to through a singles group at a church. At the church I was going to at the time, I decided, well, let me just join this singles group. And This was, I had my kids, and so at this church, this was the church that I grew up in. I went back to the church that I grew up in after being away for 13 years at another church where God had sent me. And the church that I grew up in, they always had childcare. So they had childcare. No matter what was going on, there was always childcare. I think maybe out of the whole time that I was at that church, and I was at that church for 20 something years, left for 13 and then came back after my mom passed away. And they still had childcare. So I attended this singles, I think it was called Passion and Purity class, and learned this new way of journaling. I was feeling some type of way because, my mom had just passed and I just didn't feel like journaling. And then here we go in this class, and the main thing that you had to do in the class, because it was required reading in that class and it required you to journal, but it was journaling in a totally different way than I've done it before. And it was journaling with purpose. And there were 5 different areas of your life that you had addressed, and you made goals, you set goals, you wrote down the benefits of reaching those goals, and then you wrote down what your actions were going to be to reach those goals. I'll be doing a challenge called journaling into purpose, and that's part of it. That goes in conjunction, now that I'm understanding, now that I'm putting all the things that I've learned together, that the vision board, the new prayer board that I just added in, and the journal all go together. They all go together, and then that's what helps us to find direction and to find a balance. Balance is a place. I also learned that too, that balance is a place. It's not something you do, it's a place you go. So that's where you find that direction, where you find that focus, and that helps you to love yourself courageously, because you respect your own boundaries that you set for yourself, and respect and honor the boundaries you set for other people. Just because it looks like they might have changed their ways is not always so. Test it, see if they have, and if they haven't, put the boundary back up. And don't feel any kind of way about it. Don't feel guilty about it. It is what it is. There's no harm, no foul, but it is what it is. In order to protect your space, your mind, your emotions, your purpose, and yourself, those boundaries have to be in place. And we need to respect those boundaries for ourselves, because if we don't respect the boundaries, they won't either. And especially as our kids get older, those boundaries need to be in place. I had to tell my son tonight, because he wanted me to go pick something up and drop it off at his house on the way from work. I was like, I have an event tonight. I gotta go. I can't do that. And broke it down to him. I was like, your apartment's way in the back of your subdivision. Not your subdivision, but your apartment complex. So I gotta go all the way to the back, drop off, what you want me to drop off, because you wanted me to pick it up for you real quick, and then come out and then go home. And then I'm rushing, trying to get home. And that's not how I want to do that. And so he conceded and said, okay, Mom, next time you're out here, just, could you get me this thing? And so I was like, yes, I can. Love you very much. We both said love you, and I am here. And I like to be on time. I like to be early, really, so I can be on time. And so we made it here. So the boundaries that we need to set for ourselves, we have to figure out what those boundaries are, with our eating, with our exercise habits, with our sitting still, and making time for ourselves, and protect that with a boundary. This is my time right here. Of course, if you have small kids, that's kind of hard, especially if they're babies, because they're what's the word, dynamic. They move, their schedules move all over the place for different reasons and stuff like that. And don't be hard on yourself if you miss it. Make it up. Make up that time at another time. Make some time somewhere else. Ask for help. By all means, ask for help, and say, hey, I need some time to myself. Can you watch my child for me for a couple hours? Watch him for the night, watch him for the weekend, whatever you need to do. And hopefully you have a village where you can do that, and you have somebody that you can call, to say, hey, I need some time to myself. Can you please help me? with my kids, so that I can go and take some time for myself, even if it's go take a nap so you can sleep. Um, One of the things that I had heard about before was that somebody would come to your house and just sit with your kids. Let them sit with your kids while you go in the room and take a nap. You know, sometimes that's necessary, but protect your boundaries. We all need boundaries, and these are healthy boundaries. These aren't because they're not for bad reasons. They're not because you have ill feelings towards someone or that you don't like somebody or whatever. It's not that. These are healthy boundaries for people that are in your sphere of influence in your life, that you love and care about, but right now or for a while, you might have to put up a boundary until they get to a place where they can accept you for you and what you're doing, and not have negative opinions and negative things to say about whatever it is that you're doing. The last thing we need is to have somebody else coming in and bringing negative stuff when we're already fighting away the negative things that are going on in our own heads as single moms, because we all think that we're not doing a good job, but you are a single mom. You're doing a good job. You're doing the best that you know how. And if you feel that you're lacking, then find a book, find some education, find some things on social media, Google, whatever, Audible, listen to some books, go to the library, whatever you need to do to find more information, so that you can have these things to pull from, or find a community like here in the Single Moms Club, or in the and the other thing that I offered out to you guys the other day, you can become a part of the Single Moms Village. If you want to be part of the Single Moms Village, you can sign up for that. That is a membership, though. It's and I'm letting you know that that's a paid membership, and there are payment plans available, but you could do that as well. That is a more of us meeting together more on a consistent basis throughout the month. Basically every week we would be meeting. We would have book clubs that will read through some books and talk about those books that are helping us to elevate and level up and change our point of view on things, open our minds up to some things. You could do that, or you could just come on here once a month and participate in the free challenges like this one. That's something that you can do. And if you can't come on live, know that there are replays available in the guide section, where I'm actually stacking them up in the guide section so that they're nice and neatly there. And you could just click on the done button so that you know that you already did that. So when you come back, you could check that out. All the replays will be available through Tuesday of this coming week, when we will have the Single Mom Queen Kit giveaway. If you don't know what that is, I mentioned that, I believe, on the second day. It told you guys what was in that Single Mom Queen Kit. It is a giveaway. There's no strings attached. This is something that I just want to give to the people, to the women, single moms that are in the group that want to participate and be top contributors. And how do you do that? Do a like, do a share your put a comment in the group with your biggest takeaways. And even if you have questions, put those in the group too, because that will also count towards you being in the running for winning a Single Mom Queen Kit. Mind you, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, you do need to be part of the Single Moms Club. And so to be a part of the Single Moms Club, I will, I think I dropped the link in already. Or maybe I just dropped the link for the book in there, but I'll drop the link for the Single Moms Club so that you can join that and have an opportunity to win the Single Moms Queen Kit. It is a box of love from me. And it's got, some self-care things in there. I give you a journal in there that's, to help you with your self-love, and write a little note for you from me, and of encouragement, and some little extra things that I'll drop in there as well. So anyway, that's it for tonight, y'all. Day 4 is over. Tomorrow is day 5, and day 5 we're gonna bring this all together and see how all us working on all these areas of our lives a little bit at a time on different ones at different times, and when they get worked on and we are not ignoring them, they all come together and make this one thing happen that we will talk about tomorrow. They make it increase, they make it grow, they make it multiply. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. So much love. Have a great night. See you guys tomorrow. Hashtag Single Moms Level Up. Bye. See y'all tomorrow. Thank you, Kim and Heather, for watching live. And thank you for everyone on YouTube who's also watching live. Much love, and see